Have you ever stared at a blood test in complete silence, pretending to stay calm while one number quietly terrified you? Maybe your doctor mentioned your creatinine levels were a little high. Maybe you've been feeling exhausted lately, your ankles swelling by the end of the day, your body slowing down in ways you can't explain. And deep down, a frightening thought keeps whispering in the back of your mind. What if my kidneys are starting to fail? What scares me most is that millions of people are walking around right now with kidney damage and have absolutely no idea it's happening. Because kidney disease does not usually begin with pain. It begins quietly, silently, while your body keeps trying to survive without warning you loud enough to listen. By the time many people finally discover the truth, they are already sitting in a cold medical office hearing words they never thought they would hear in their lifetime. Dialysis, kidney failure, permanent damage. And here's the part almost nobody talks about. One of the biggest mistakes destroying kidney health every single day is happening inside ordinary kitchens, inside healthy diets, inside foods people trust without question. But what if the very things you eat and drink every day are slowly exhausting your kidneys without you even realizing it? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the 6 foods and habits that may be silently damaging your kidneys right now, the dangerous myths that are making things worse, and the everyday changes that could help protect your kidney function before it's too late. My name is Dr. Vincent Hale, and after years of caring for patients terrified by rising creatinine numbers and worsening kidney function, I've learned something heartbreaking. Most people do not ignore their kidneys because they don't care. They ignore them because nobody ever explained the warning signs in a way that truly felt real, until it was almost too late. One of the most dangerous foods for your kidneys may already be sitting in your refrigerator right now. And the frightening part is, millions of Americans eat it every single morning, believing it's harmless. I'm talking about processed meats, bacon, sausages, hot dogs, deli slices, smoked meats, the kinds of foods that feel normal, convenient, even comforting. But inside your body, they can create a level of stress your kidneys were never designed to handle day after day. I remember a patient named Robert, a 62-year-old retired truck driver, who came into my office convinced he was eating pretty healthy. He rarely touched candy, didn't drink much soda, and tried to avoid fast food. But every morning started the same way: bacon, sausage, and processed deli sandwiches. When his lab results came back, his kidney function had dropped far faster than expected. And what shocked him most was hearing that the damage wasn't coming from one massive mistake, but from small daily habits repeated for years. Here's what most people don't realize. Processed meats are loaded with sodium, preservatives, and phosphate additives that force the kidneys to work overtime. Some packaged meats contain more sodium in one serving than your kidneys can comfortably handle over several hours. According to studies published by the National Kidney Foundation, high sodium intake is strongly linked to increased blood pressure and faster progression of chronic kidney disease. And when blood pressure rises, those tiny filtering units inside your kidneys begin to scar silently, little by little, year after year. But what makes this even more dangerous is how invisible the damage feels in the beginning. Most people don't notice anything until fatigue, swelling, or abnormal lab numbers suddenly appear. And by then, the kidneys may already be struggling far more than anyone realizes. But knowing this alone is not enough, because the next category of foods may be even worse, especially because so many people still think they're completely safe. And if processed meats are quietly exhausting your kidneys, the next category may be even more dangerous, because people don't just consume it occasionally, they drink it every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, without ever realizing the damage building inside their bodies. I'm talking about sugary drinks, soda, energy drinks, sweet tea, flavored coffees, and those brightly colored fruit beverages that look refreshing on the outside, but can become a nightmare for your kidneys over time. A few years ago, I met a woman named Linda, 54 years old, who told me something I hear far too often. "Doctor, I barely eat junk food." And she was telling the truth. She cooked at home, avoided greasy meals, and tried to stay active. But then she quietly admitted something else. She drank 3 large sodas every day for nearly 20 years, morning, afternoon, and dinner. It had become so normal that she never thought twice about it. But her blood sugar kept rising. Her blood pressure became harder to control, and eventually her kidney function began to decline. What many people fail to understand is that sugary drinks don't just affect weight, they create a chain reaction throughout the body. Excess sugar, especially high fructose corn syrup, found in many American beverages, increases inflammation, raises blood pressure, and dramatically increases the risk of type 2 diabetes, one of the leading causes of kidney failure in the United States. Some studies have even linked regular soda consumption to faster kidney function decline, even in people who thought they were otherwise healthy. And energy drinks may be even worse. The combination of caffeine, sugar, stimulants, and artificial additives can place enormous stress on blood vessels and kidney filtration over time. Imagine forcing your kidneys to filter thick syrup instead of clean water, hour after hour, year after year. Now ask yourself honestly, how many people are doing this right now without realizing the risk? But knowing this alone is still not enough, because the next foods hiding inside many kitchens may be silently flooding the body with something the kidneys struggle to survive: massive amounts of sodium. And this is where the danger becomes even harder to detect, because the next foods don't always taste extremely salty. In fact, many of them are marketed as quick, easy, or even healthy family meals. But hidden inside canned soups, frozen dinners, instant noodles, and packaged sauces is something that can quietly push damaged kidneys closer and closer to failure: overwhelming amounts of sodium. I'll never forget a patient named Carol, a 67-year-old grandmother who lived alone after her husband passed away. Cooking full meals every day felt exhausting, so she depended on canned soup, microwave dinners, and instant noodles because they were affordable and easy. "It's just soup," she told me softly during one appointment. But when we reviewed her diet closely, the sodium levels were shocking. Some of those meals contained nearly an entire day's worth of salt in a single serving. Over time, her blood pressure climbed higher, swelling appeared in her legs, and her kidney numbers worsened month after month. Here's what makes sodium so dangerous for the kidneys. Your kidneys are responsible for balancing fluids and minerals in the body. But when sodium levels stay consistently high, the kidneys are forced to hold on to extra water just to maintain balance. That extra fluid increases blood pressure, and high blood pressure acts like constant pressure against the tiny filtration units inside the kidneys. Little by little, those delicate filters begin to scar. And the terrifying part is, most people feel absolutely nothing while this damage is happening. According to the CDC and kidney health researchers, excess sodium intake is one of the strongest dietary factors linked to hypertension and chronic kidney disease progression. Yet millions of Americans still consume far more sodium than recommended every single day, often without realizing it because packaged foods hide it so well. But wait, the next 2 foods may be even more dangerous because millions of people still believe they're actually helping their health. And that brings us to one of the biggest nutrition myths of the last decade: the belief that more protein always means better health. For many people, high-protein diets sound disciplined, powerful, even clean. Steak, large portions of beef, protein-heavy meal plans. They've become symbols of strength and fitness. But when the kidneys are already vulnerable, too much red meat can quietly become a serious burden the body struggles to keep up with. I remember a man named Daniel, 58 years old, who came into my office proud of the changes he had made. He had cut sugar, started going to the gym again, and switched to a strict, high-protein diet after watching health influencers online. Every meal revolved around red meat, steak, burgers without buns, processed beef snacks, protein shakes. At first he felt energized, but several months later, his creatinine levels had climbed significantly, and his kidneys were showing clear signs of stress. What frightened him most was hearing me say, "Your intentions were good, but your kidneys may be paying the price." Here's why this matters so much. When you eat excessive amounts of animal protein, especially fatty red meat, your kidneys must work harder to filter the waste products created during protein metabolism. Over time, this constant pressure can increase what doctors call hyperfiltration, where the kidneys are forced to overwork for long periods. And for people already dealing with diabetes, high blood pressure, or early kidney disease, that extra workload can accelerate damage much faster than expected. Research published in multiple nephrology journals has shown that diets excessively high in red and processed meats are associated with a greater risk of chronic kidney disease progression. It's not that protein is the enemy. Your body absolutely needs protein. The danger comes from excess, imbalance, and believing the kidneys can tolerate unlimited strain forever. And this is where things become even more complicated, because some of the products people turn to after hearing warnings like this are marketed as natural solutions. But the next category may be one of the most deceptive and dangerous of all. And this may be the most heartbreaking category of all, because the people using these products are usually not careless. They're scared. They're trying to save themselves. They see the words natural, herbal, or detox, and they want to believe there's still an easy way to reverse the damage before it's too late. But sometimes the very products marketed as kidney cleanses can end up harming the kidneys even faster. A woman named Patricia once came to see me carrying an entire bag filled with supplements she had purchased online. Detox teas, herbal cleansing drops, natural kidney support capsules with labels covered in green leaves and promises that sounded almost miraculous. She looked at me and said, "Doctor, I just wanted to help my kidneys heal." And I believed her. But after reviewing her blood work, we discovered her kidney function had actually worsened during the months she had been taking several of those products. What most people don't realize is that natural does not automatically mean safe. Some herbs and unregulated supplements contain compounds that can be toxic to kidney tissue, especially in people whose kidneys are already weakened. Others may interact dangerously with blood pressure medications or diabetes treatments. And because the supplement industry is far less regulated than prescription medicine, many products sold online are never properly tested for long-term kidney safety. According to reports published in Nephrology Research, cases of supplement-related kidney injury have increased over recent years, especially among adults trying self-guided detox programs without medical supervision. And the danger becomes even greater because many people delay seeing a real doctor while trusting products that promise full kidney cleansing or rapid detox. The truth is, your kidneys are already the body's detox system. They do not need miracle teas or internet cures. They need protection, hydration, balanced nutrition, controlled blood pressure, and time. And yet, the final category may be the hardest one to escape because it's built into modern life itself. Millions of people consume it not once a month, but several times every single week without realizing the silent damage adding up meal after meal. And this final category may be the one silently connecting all the others together, because fast food and ultra-processed meals don't just contain one harmful ingredient. They combine excessive sodium, unhealthy fats, refined sugars, preservatives, and chemical additives into the perfect storm for kidney damage. Burgers, fries, packaged snacks, frozen drive-through meals, processed convenience foods. They may save a few minutes today, but over years they can slowly steal something far more valuable: your body's ability to protect itself. I once treated a man named Marcus, only 49 years old, who worked long hours and barely had time to cook. Fast food became part of his daily survival routine. Breakfast sandwiches in the morning, burgers during lunch breaks, chips and packaged snacks late at night while driving home exhausted. "It's just life," he told me. "Everybody eats like this now." But when his lab results came back, his blood pressure was dangerously high, his blood sugar was climbing, and early kidney damage had already begun to appear. What shook him most was realizing the problem hadn't started suddenly. It had been building quietly for years, one rushed meal at a time. This is exactly why processed fast foods are so dangerous. They attack the kidneys from multiple directions at once. Excess sodium raises blood pressure. Added sugars increase diabetes risk. Unhealthy fats fuel chronic inflammation. And obesity, one of the strongest drivers of kidney disease, becomes far more likely when these foods become daily habits instead of occasional treats. Researchers have repeatedly linked diets high in ultra-processed foods with increased risks of hypertension, cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders, and chronic kidney disease progression. And the frightening part is how normal this lifestyle has become. Many people don't feel sick while the damage is developing. They simply feel a little more tired, a little more swollen, or a little older, never realizing their kidneys may already be struggling to keep up. But here's the hopeful truth I want you to remember. Kidney damage does not always happen overnight, and in many cases, the body responds powerfully when harmful habits begin to change. Because once you finally understand what has been hurting your kidneys all along, you can begin making choices that may help protect them for years to come. Before we finish today, I want you to remember something deeply important. Your kidneys are working for you every second of your life, even when you don't notice them. While you sleep, while you work, while you spend time with the people you love, those two small organs are silently filtering your blood, balancing your body, and fighting to keep you alive. And the truth is, most people only begin thinking about their kidneys after the damage has already become serious. But if you're watching this right now, you still have something incredibly powerful on your side: awareness. Small daily choices truly matter. Reducing processed foods, cutting back on excess sodium and sugary drinks, drinking enough water, monitoring your blood pressure, and getting routine lab tests can make a bigger difference than most people realize. You do not need perfection overnight. You just need to start making better decisions consistently, one meal, one habit, one day at a time. Because protecting your kidneys is not about fear. It's about giving your body the support it deserves before it's forced to beg for help. And if this video helped you in any way, I truly encourage you to save it somewhere you can come back to later, especially for the days when life gets busy and it becomes easy to fall back into unhealthy habits. You never know when this information could help you, or someone you love, make a healthier choice at the right moment. And make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because in the next videos, I'm going to share more medically grounded, easy to understand information about kidney health, warning signs most people ignore, and the everyday habits that may quietly determine your future health. Most importantly, don't lose hope. The body has an incredible ability to respond when we finally begin treating it with care. Many people improve their health not because they found a miracle cure, but because they finally understood what their body needed all along. My name is Dr. Vincent Hale, and it's truly been an honor spending this time with you today. Take care of your kidneys, because they've been taking care of you your entire life.